Hey gang, we are back the morning after at Harmony Grove Cemetery in Portsmouth, New Hampshire. And if you remember, if you've seen the Smutty Nose episode that just played, you'll remember the drone shot. And by the way, if you hadn't seen that episode, I'll put the link in and go back and watch that. We have pretty dramatic view of Portsmouth over the bay and then the river, and then we come in, and as we came into the cemetery, we covered a big part of the cemetery that we really didn't get to see on our walk to the grave. This place is massive, and there were some really interesting stones I wanted to come see. So we're going to take a kind of just a walk and explore. Haven't looked at it yet. One thing you'll notice at the end of the Smutty Nose, and I don't want to be a spoiler alert if you haven't seen it, but interestingly, out of nowhere, the flower that I had put down for Annetta had just mysteriously fallen off, and then following it was the flower that was put there months ago, probably by someone else. Followed it. It was like it was swept off. Now, I'm not claiming paranormal, but that really, nothing like that has happened to me. It was first thing at daybreak. You can see from the bay in the drone pictures that imaging that there wasn't a breath of air. There's glassy water out there, and not a flag was blowing, and it was just the strangest thing that I've ever seen. Maybe coincidence, maybe not, but I'd love to hear what you guys think. There's a lot of energy here. There must be. I kind of feel it. Well, let's take a walk together and explore. That was definitely a strange thing that happened, I gotta tell you. People ask me, have you ever had paranormal experiences? And I really haven't, other than the Richard Warren Sears crypt, when I was in there and the temperature all of a sudden immediately went up from probably 60, 70 degrees to like 100 degrees in a matter of 10 or 15 seconds. But other than that, maybe that was coincidental too. Maybe you can't explain these things, so you got to keep an open mind. Here we have a couple from it looks like the early 1800s. Now what's interesting is I see two dates on here, 1812 and then 1800, which is kind of odd. And this is Israel Kimball, and it says Clara, so probably wife of, or what does that say? I don't have my flashlight with me today, but in fact, you know what? I'm going to grab my flashlight. Let's just pause it here. Okay, we have the flashlight. Luckily, we just started and I'm started out where the car is, so we're only 30 feet away. And I'm sure we're going to run into some more stones that we can't read, but I really want to see what that says here. A widow of Israel Kimball, 1817 to 1893. I love that name. It's kind of like the old sailors, right? Clara P. And it says on top, mother. So this must be Israel. Yeah, Israel Kimball. And it's 1812 to 1890. Okay. Well, that explains a lot. Let's see what else we can find. We got the sun coming up. I love the dramatic light that we get from the sunrise. I'm going to start trying to shoot more episodes in the mornings. Just get better color. Look at those flowers over there. That's pretty. That is pretty. It's nice and peaceful here. Very quiet. Not a lot of mausoleums at this cemetery, and the mausoleums that I've seen are not, they're not that old. Let's go this way. Of course, Portsmouth is a very historic town. A lot of historic towns in this area. Start of the country, well, I should go back to discovery of the country. All the way back. Columbus to the Mayflower. And of course, there's a lot of history before that, Native American history, etc. But it does make it particularly intriguing to know that this is where it all started. GFP died July 1st, 1867, no death date. And wife Ellen, she died in 1871. And here is a rear admiral, it looks like up here, George Pearson. Let's take a look at that. That inscription. So he died in 1867, it looks like. Now that's an interesting stone. What do you make of that on top? It looks like Greek symbols there. And you'll see underneath there's the perpetual care. You'll see these every once in a while. Really just means this is cared for at no charge by the cemetery, and many times volunteers, because unless you're in an area historic like this, I'm sure this is just about landmark status. When cemeteries run out of money, they're just abandoned. And why would they run out of money? Because they're out of space typically. Beautiful row here. Stones. Let's see here. 19 days, child, looks like. Looking for interesting inscriptions. Never know what you're going to find, but this is obviously a child. Died July 29th, 1856, 19 days old. Charles Hooper died in September 15th, 1865. So, not sure about that. It says died. And then another one, oh, I see. We've got the name Jenny Urena. And then she was 19 days, and we have Charles Hooper, who died September 15th, 1865. He was only 2 years old. Children of Harry and, I believe, let's see who the parents are. Father and mother here. Yeah, this has got to be Tanton, T-A-N-T-O-N. 1831, 1887. And there's an interesting symbol there. The wife, the mother, Eliza, Libby. Wife of Harry G. Tanton, 1832 to 1900. So, sad story there. Did they have other kids? Let's just take a quick look here. No. These are different names here. So possibly the entire family, well, all kids wiped out at young age. Of course, so many diseases back then. Typhoid, yellow fever, diphtheria later on, tuberculosis. It's just endless diseases. Here's Sarah E., wife of Thomas J. Looks like Spincey. Yeah. She died June 1st, 1860. Wow. 28 years old, looks like. Here's the husband and father, Thomas J. Looks like it says Spinney or Spiny. Oh, this one I see this says S-P-I-N-N-C-Y, and this is S-P-I-N-N. Oh, you know what? The C is an E over there. Okay, Spinney. Sometimes these are hard to read, so he lived to be 48 years old. Interesting. You just wonder what the stories are. Like those two families, did they have any kids? Again, let's just take a quick look here. This stone to the right is not. Oh, here we go. Yeah. So we have a lot of Spinney or Spiny. I'm going to say it's Spinney because it's two N's. So let's have a look at everybody in this family. Now, again, Dad died in 1878. He lived to only be 48. And we have died 1913. And this is a wife, Sarah A. Doesn't show a birth date. This is Charlie A. Spinney. And now we have born October 14th, 1852. And he died July 15th, 1896. So that would be earlier. Looks like Arthur, born, can't read that, 1866, died 1954. Is that 18 or 19? 19. So I lived a while. Pearlie was born 1826, died 1876, died 1876. I can't read that, but I see 1897 there. And this one, Thomas, born in 1872, passed in 1910. So those have got to be the children. Interesting. Well, they didn't die young, it appears, first blush. Maybe those will be on Find a Grave and we can find out a little bit more about them. But I think the odds are low because as I walk, there are hundreds, there are thousands of stones just like this. In the early to mid 1800s, this was the style. Now this one is very ornate. Look at that. John, I gotta watch my step here. John and Florence pray. And those inscriptions are fading out, wearing out. Let's go up the stairs here. This is a little bit of a tiered cemetery. I'll give you a little look around from up here. So we're on the south end of the cemetery. That's the north end. And as you can see, it just keeps going and going and going. It's got to be at least 100 acres, maybe more. Closer to the 130 acre range. range, I would guess, off the top of my head. Just driving around it. There is the river bay right out there where the drone came in. And if I recall, our drone came, I think it was a little more to the left. Let's take a look at these. There's Maggie. Maggie J., wife of C.W. Gould. Died September 11th, 1878. She was 24 years old. And this is Charles Gould. And he passed in 1884, 30 years old. Wow. Both very young. You can work back the year of the birth. Again, in those days, they didn't really they really just focused on the death date and how old you were. They really didn't focus on your birth date. Here's Caroline, passed in, does that say 19? No, that can't be. Looks like it to me, like it says 1900, died. Well, maybe, yeah, 77, that makes sense. And this is, looks like a Charles, another Charles. And he died in 1890 at 69. So that has to be the son, all right? Edward. Died 1899. He was only, well, 51 it looks like. And there's a stone here that's fallen over. Definitely a Gould. I'm not going to mess with that, but here's the last of the Goulds. Arthur. And he was born, well, we have a born date that's unusual, July 21st, 1849, passed May 24th, 1908. So again, we're getting 1908 when this stone was probably erected in 1909, 1910. We're seeing more of the birth dates. I see some wrought iron up there. Love the wrought iron. Take a close look. Very ornate. Give you a look at the detailing here. Over 100 years old. Maybe older. Let's see, we've got Mariana and Ellen, looks like Ellen T. Pickett here. Let's see if I can zoom in on that. Daughter of Washington, Charlotte Ayer Williams, born at Concord, New Hampshire, September 24th, 1837, died at Concord, New Hampshire, November 6, 1841. And then we have Ellen T. Pickett, who was born in 1827, passed in 1882. So a family plot here. No doubt there are many other inscriptions. Yeah, Charlotte, and there's Washington. Let's just get a quick look at Washington. This is the father. Now, important to see for the family name. Looks, I see September 28th, 1797. Died at Portsmouth. Looks like 1860. So now we're getting back to the American Revolution. Now he was born just before it looks like. No, just after it. 1797. All right, where do we want to go from here? I like this idea, going this way. Very well manicured cemetery, I gotta tell you. Let's walk this road a little bit. See what we see. I only see a couple of mausoleums. Now that mausoleum we see that's way down over there where I'm pointing. We did walk by the front of that, which was the other side, the south side of that. Oh, you know what? We'll gotta go over there and check that out. I see a relief of a person's face on a monument there. Let's see what we have here. Trefethen. So 1847, 1905. So mid 1800s, late 1800s. Passing in the early 20th century, and then on the bottom, Francis passed in 1929. Oh, look at this! Is a good one. That really reads. Eliza Jane Lidston, or Lidston, January 9th, 1852, April 29th, 1934. I'm betting someone may have come back and blasted that out a little more. May 17th for Eva. 1873, 1951 she died, so it's not too long ago. Some obelisks we're walking towards. There's a family plot of Downs, James Downs. Although this, I'm betting, James died in 1871. He was only 29. Below him is Ed, 56 years old, and Mary Whitcomb. McMahon. Let's keep heading to that the relief of a man with the hairstyle going back to the American Revolution era, looks to me, just looking, right? Or early 1800s. This is a big obelisk. Interesting. I've never seen one like this before. Not sure what inspired that. Maybe a little Egyptian revival. And this is in pretty good shape considering it's marble and what I've seen in Chicago like this. Not melted away, but definitely losing some of the features. Yeah, sideburns. I was going to say it could be a woman, but, or no, I don't know. What do you guys think? Is this a woman? Or is that sideburns? But no, I don't know. This is really tough to say. Looks like a man to me, guys. But we're going to see on the other side if there's a surprise. Charles Lovell. Looks like L-E-V-L. Let me put a light on that, or Levy. No, it looks like an L to me. No, it's an I. Levy. All right. There's a view of it. Son of, Levi. Son of Levi and Elizabeth. MC. Woodbury. Born in Portsmouth, New Hampshire, 1820. And passed July 1st, 1890. Looks like 98. Died in Boston, Massachusetts. Just south of here. A whole big, oh boy, a big old, I don't know if you'd call it a prayer, but I'm not going to read all that, but I'll put the camera on it, and if you want to do a pause, you might give it a shot. And I'll put a I will put a light on it for you. Let me get in position here. Yeah, I don't know if that's going to help. I don't know if that's going to help you. Let me try from this side. Well, I see the word governor. All right. So I'm just going to kind of start at the top. And again, I'm kind of limited here. My arm is only so long, but I'm going to try and move down slowly for you. And you can try and read that. I see the word Congress, Senator, Congress. I'll bet this is on Find a Grave. I will bet you this is one of the famous people here. He held at the time of his death, United States, blah, blah, blah. So Levi, this is for Levi. Oh, it's Levi's obituary. 1789. Oh yeah, this goes. So that's got to be Levi. Right, guys? That's got to be Levi. This one you can read. Elizabeth Williams, daughter of, looks like Honorable Levi Woodbury. And we have Ellen Carolina de Quincy Woodbury, daughter of Levi and Elizabeth W.C. Woodbury, and she died in 1909 in Atlantic City, New Jersey. Very interesting. Boy, you never know what you're going to find just walking along here. I guess that's almost as good as the oval pictures, right? The oval porcelains, except that they melt away. All right, let's go this way. Let's go to a shady spot. Let's go to this little oasis of shade over here. Although it's like 6:30 a.m., temperature 75. It'll be 90s today. That's part of the reason I'm getting up bright and early. All right, we're on our path of the smutty nose. I'm not going to spend much time here, but I did want to take a closer look at these doors and the symbolism. This is not Nazi Germany. Oh, these are some beautiful doors. Look at that. Wow. Let's get up close for some detail. It looks like if you had a probe camera, you could get in those little holes and see what's going on inside. I do not have one. And by the way, they don't work too well because this is Peter Janess. They don't work too well because the focal length, you know, they're for pipes, is about 2 inches to look inside pipes. Boy, this is in beautiful shape. Look at these giant hinges. Massive. So what I did get is something for automobiles. If any of you out there want to use a snake camera for this kind of stuff, I'd recommend you look in automotive because they have longer focal lengths. I haven't tested it out, but I did buy a bunch and zeroed in on one in case I run into a situation like this. And of course I didn't bring it on my trip. Well, you can't have everything. People say I should have a broom, and they say that I should have cleaner and towels and all kinds of other things. And you know, either I'm going to have a big apron as I walk, or I'm going to be carrying a wagon. So I'll just use my hand, guys. I don't have the money to get an assistant, nor do I want. I like doing this stuff solo, so I'll carry my own stuff. Well, this is kind of the path we walked. We're kind of on the path of the smutty nose. So you can basically pick it up here, right here, if you want. And I'll put the link in the description of the Smutty Nose murders, which happened on Smutty Nose Island. And from here, I'm going to go south. We're going to do about 16 stories. We're just getting started here. See you soon.